Hi viewers, how are you? I hope you're doing well. So welcome back to my channel HANU7. So many viewers are watching my videos but they are not subscribed. So I would like to demonstrate how to subscribe to my channel. For that you have to visit any browser, and in the browser you have to type just this URL. So which is also shown in every video of mine in the end screens. Okay. So just open YouTube. Here shortcut is available. Okay, you will get YouTube open here. So don't get distracted by some other videos. Just type HANU7. Okay, then you will get my videos, everything here. Okay, so if you want, you can also directly type. This is the famous URL, youtube.com. Everybody knows. Put a slash and then put HANU7. Then you will get my video.
Hello viewers,
This is the
good morning.
introduction video of mine.
My name is Yes
Okay,
Hanmanlu, as you
so
are
you
already
can
know.
observe
If you are
on
a new
this
subscriber,
video.
if you are new user.
Let me pause it. You can observe on this video. At the end you will get this subscribe option, so click on the subscribe option. Okay, so if you don't want to get my videos continuously, because out of busy you may get distracted by different notifications. If you don't want, then simply click subscribe and don't click on the bell icon with symbol called all. Okay, but don't forget to subscribe and encourage me to do more videos. Okay, so with this note I would like to jump into the presentation mode. I hope you remember this slide. So I promise that we will discuss in the next video. So that is this video. So we are going to discuss about malware and ransomware attacks. These are a growing threat in the cyber security. Okay, so we will discuss what is malware. Malware is a short for malicious software. So malware stands for, it's a short form of malicious software. So what is a malicious software? Okay, malicious software is nothing but they will send certain links which are malicious in nature. Okay, if you click on that link, what happens? You will fall prey for different types of attacks. As we have seen in the previous videos, there are so many different types of attacks. Okay, so don't click unnecessary links that comes to your mobile or to your desktop or laptop also. So what is a malware? Malware is short for malicious software, which refers to any software designed to harm a computer system or a network. It can take various forms, including. So we will, before seeing the next slide, so let us discuss in detail what is malware and ransomware attacks. These have become increasingly sophisticated and prevalent in recent years, posing significant risks to individuals, not only individuals, but businesses and critical infrastructure. Okay, so this response provides an overview of these threats, their potential consequences, and strategies for the prevention and mitigation. Okay, now we will move to the next slide. So just now I told you that malware is a short for malicious software, refers to any software designed to harm a computer system or a network. It can take many forms, including, the first category is viruses. Viruses are nothing but self-replicating programs that attach themselves to other files. Next comes worms. What is worms? Self-propagating programs that can spread across entire network without requiring human intervention. Okay, so this point is very important. Without requiring human intervention, that means the this is a dangerous kind of thing in the cyber crimes. Okay, without the human interaction, I mean, without the human intervention also, these worms can self propagate and spread across the networks. Next comes Trojans. These are the malicious programs disguised as a legitimate software. They will send a link as if it is from a legitimate source, but it is not from a legitimate source. You should be thoroughly verify the URL before opening it. Then comes spyware. This is also one of the type of malware. What is this spyware means? Software that secretly monitors users' activities. Okay, that's the name. That's why its name is spyware. Next comes hardware. Software that displays unwanted advertisements. These days, we can see there are so many advertisements coming in our mobile phones also. Okay, so you should not uh, click such kind of links, which some of the advertisements are genuine, and some also related to hardware category. Okay, they will introduce malicious code or viruses or worms or trojans, or it could be a spyware also. Next comes what is ransomware. Okay, so ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts a victim's file. It does not do anything. It simply encrypts the victim's files, whether it could be a mobile or it could be a laptop or it could be a huge server in a particular organization. So making them inaccessible to until a ransom is paid. They will first encrypt and they will demand for the huge amount. Okay. So to decrypt the data. So this can have devastating consequences for businesses and individuals. Okay, how it is devastating consequences for businesses and individuals means businesses will suffer lack of work to their employees because their servers got encrypted. If the server gets encrypted, all the clients who are connected to that server, they cannot work on that particular day. So it's a huge loss for that organizations. For that entire day they have to pay for any work to their employees. Okay, so it can disrupt the operations, leading to, just now I told you that, financial loss. It could lead to the financial loss and also damaging reputation. It will damage the reputation of that organization as well. Now, potential consequences of malware and ransomware attacks. First category is data loss. Malware can delete or corrupt valuable data. Then comes financial loss. Ransomware demands can be costly, and businesses may also incur expenses related to downtime, legal fees, and reputational damage. Okay, so in this, if we want to decrypt our data, we have to pay the whatever the amount they have demanded. Or if you want to approach through legally means, it also results in huge financial loss. You have to pay for the legal fees and also the time it takes much if you approach through legally. Okay, so that's why many businesses will immediately pay the ransom amount whatever they will demand. It will, of course, it will results in a reputational damage, but they can rectify it and they can at least save certain financial loss. Disruption of operations. Malware attacks can cause significant disruptions to business operations, leading to the productivity loss and customer dissatisfaction. Okay, productivity loss and customer dissatisfaction is important here. Next is damage to reputation. A data breach or ransom attack can tarnish a company's reputation and erode customers' trust. It will lose the trust from the customers. Okay, because of this data breach. What is data breach means? Data leak is called as data breach. Okay, so this unnecessary kind of data leaks can, it will lead to different serious consequences, like they will completely lose the trust from their customers. Okay, say for example, take a e-commerce platform. If you're dependent on a famous e-commerce platform, if it reveals your sensitive information to any others, that is called as a data breach. So the people will not trust that particular brand. Now, what are the mitigation strategies. So, mitigation strategies, first one is regular updates. Keep operating system, software, and firmware up to date with the latest security patches. Use strong passwords. Okay, you should use unique passwords for all online accounts and consider using a password manager. Backup regularly. Create regular backups for important data and store them offline. Okay. If somebody encrypt your data, you need not worry because the backup is available with you. Okay. That is the advantage of keeping the backup. Next comes security awareness training. Educate all the employees about security best practices, including how to recognize and avoid phishing scams. Okay. Next comes network security. Implement a robust network security measures such as firewalls, intrusion detection system, which is also called as IDS, and encryption. Okay. If you want, you can encrypt your own data, sensitive data especially, and you can decrypt later. Okay. So that it will not be leaked. There is no question of data breaches and there is no question of encryption because you only encrypted your sensitive data. Next comes incident response plan. Develop a comprehensive incident response plan to address malware and ransomware attacks effectively. You should have a comprehensive incident response plan. Whenever that incident happens, your plan should be ready. The next is insurance. Consider purchasing cyber liability insurance to help mitigate the financial impact of cyber attacks. By following these strategies, individuals and businesses can significantly reduce the risk of falling victim to malware and ransomware attacks. Next comes zero day and zero click attacks. So we will see what is a zero day and what is a zero day and what is a zero click attacks. Zero day and zero click attacks are two particularly dangerous types of cyber attacks that exploit vulnerabilities in the software or the systems that have not yet been publicly disclosed or patched. Okay, so they will exploit the vulnerabilities in the software. Okay, not only in the software but also in systems. So we will discuss one by one. What is zero day attack means? The definition goes like this. These attacks leverage previously unknown vulnerabilities in the software. If certain apps are having certain unknown vulnerabilities before release, after releasing the app, every app regularly requires update. So in that update, they will improve the security of that particular app. So if it is not updated regularly, because of the unknown vulnerabilities which are there in the software, these zero day attacks will use that vulnerabilities. How they work? Attackers exploit these vulnerabilities before the software vendor can release a patch or update to address them. So they will be more aware of that vulnerabilities. So before that vendor, who is the manufacturer of that software is called as a vendor. So before that, they will release update or a patch for that app, they will directly attack by exploiting those vulnerabilities. What is the impact of these zero day attacks? Zero day attacks can be highly damaging as they often catch organizations off guard and can lead to significant data breaches, system disruptions, and financial losses. This we have already seen. Then coming to the zero click attacks, a more sophisticated type of attack that does not require any user interaction. You can observe here there is no need of any user interaction. How they work? These attacks can exploit the vulnerabilities in the software or hardware to compromise a system without user needing to click on malicious link or open an infected file. Okay, so that's why they have mentioned in the beginning only zero day and zero click attacks are the most dangerous attacks. So what is the impact of this zero click attack? Zero click attacks are particularly dangerous because they can be executed remotely and without the user's knowledge, making them difficult to detect and prevent. So, without our notice, these zero click attacks can happen. User does not know that it happened. Okay. So, coming to the examples of zero day and zero click attacks. WannaCry ransomware, a notorious example of zero day attack that exploit vulnerabilities in the Microsoft Windows operating system to encrypt files and demand a huge ransom. Okay, so it happened in the year 2017. Next comes Meltdown and Spectre, a pair of hardware vulnerabilities that allowed attackers to potentially steal sensitive data from the computers. Okay, so that is about Meltdown and Spectre. Next, what are the prevention strategies? Again, same, keep software and operating system up to date with the latest patches and security updates. Security awareness training, educate users about the risks of clicking on the suspicious link or opening attachments from unknown sources. So, whenever a mail comes, you should not open the attachments blindly. So, keep track of the sender's identity first. Okay. Next comes network security. Implement robust network security measures such as firewalls and IDS. Next is incident response plan. Have a well defined incident response plan in place to address security breaches promptly. As soon as the event happens, you have to you should have a well defined incident response plan so that you can stop uh, data breaches. Threat intelligence. Stay informed about emerging threats and their vulnerabilities. By understanding the nature of zero day and zero click attacks and implementing effective preventive measures, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of falling victim to these dangerous cyber threats. Next, we will discuss in detail about WannaCry ransomware. WannaCry ransomware a significant was a significant ransom attack that affected millions of computers worldwide in the May 2017. Okay, I just now explained it happened in the May 2017. It exploited a vulnerability in the Microsoft Windows operating system to encrypt the files, and they demanded huge ransom amount. Okay, but nobody knows about this because Microsoft has got their own response incident response plan. Okay, because of that, nobody noticed that this happened. How it worked? Exploitation of a zero-day vulnerability. WannaCry leverages a previously unknown vulnerability in the Windows Server Messaging Block called as SMB. Server Messaging Block is there is a protocol called SMB protocol, Server Message Block Protocol. They have identified that there is a certain vulnerability in this SMB protocol. They have used this to exploit, and they have introduced this WannaCry ransomware attack on Microsoft Windows. Next comes encryption. Once a system was infected, WannaCry would encrypt the files and infected devices, making them inaccessible to the users. And they will also demand huge ransom amount in the form of Bitcoin to decrypt the encrypted files. But as I told you, you have to maintain backup in the either cloud storage or in local storage. Then you need not pay anything to them. Okay, you can uh, encrypt my server, no problem. I have a backup like that. You can tell. Then what is the impact of this WannaCry ransomware? First is global disruption. This attack caused widespread disruption to businesses, hospitals, and other organizations around the world. Then comes financial losses. The ransomware attack resulted in significant financial loss due to downtime and lost productivity, and ransom payments. This also we have discussed in the previous slide only. Okay. Then reputational damage. This also we have discussed in the previous slide itself. This WannaCry ransomware attack creates the lack of trust among its customers. Okay. Next comes the lessons learned from this WannaCry ransomware attack. Importance of patching. Okay, WannaCry attack highlighted the critical importance of applying security patches promptly to address the vulnerabilities. Risk of unpatched systems. This attack exposed the risks associated with running unpatched systems, particularly in organizations with outdated IT infrastructure. Need for incident response planning. This attack emphasized the need for the organizations to have a well developed incident response plan to address cyber attacks effectively. So, moving ahead, we will see mitigation strategies regular patching. This also we have discussed. Network segmentation. So, what do you mean by network segmentation is isolate critical systems and data to limit the spread of the malware. So actually, in our systems, we will be having RAM and ROM. So the data, whatever the task we are running at that time, the data comes from hard disk. It will be available with RAM, so that the system can access it at a faster rate. After the task completes, it will send the files back to the ROM memory. Okay. So because of this zero day and zero click attacks, and especially ransomware attack, what they will do is they will spread here and there. Okay, they won't of course it does not happen with every system also. So regularly we have to do the disk defragmentation. It will allot the memory locations accordingly as per their order, so that system can access the data immediately. So but here what they will do, instead of making that files available, they will provide data to limit the spread of malware. By doing this network segmentation, what you can do, isolate critical systems and data to limit the spread of malware. You can also limit the spread of malware by this network segmentation. I need not tell you what do you mean by segmentation. The next comes backup regularly. This also we have discussed. Create regular backups and important data, especially sensitive data, and store them offline or in a secure cloud environment. Next is security awareness training. Educate all employees about the risks of clicking on suspicious links or opening attachments from unknown sources. Next is incident response planning. Develop a comprehensive incident response planning. This also we have discussed in the previous slides. Next, we will discuss in detail about meltdown and spectre. These were two critical hardware vulnerabilities discovered in the late 2017 that affected a wide range of processors from Intel, AMD, and ARM. They have targeted these three manufacturers. Okay, because these three manufacturers will develop, I mean, they will design the processors. So these vulnerabilities allowed attackers to potentially steal sensitive data from the computers, including passwords, okay, encryption keys, and other confidential information. So how they work? Meltdown. How it is worked? This vulnerability exploited a flaw in the way the processes handles speculative execution. Okay, a technique used to improve the performance. Okay, so in order to improve the performance, some systems will use a speculative, they will handle speculative execution. Attackers could use this flaw to access privileged memory locations that should have been protected. Then comes Spectre. This vulnerability exploited a flaw in the way processors branch instructions. Okay, I need not tell you what do you mean by branch instructions. Attackers could use this flaw to manipulate the processor's branch prediction logic to access the sensitive data. Okay. Next one is impact. We will see what are the impacts. Impact one is widespread vulnerability. Okay, these vulnerabilities affected a vast range of devices, including PCs, servers, smartphones, and IoT devices. Okay, next, security risks. This is the second point. These vulnerabilities posed a significant security risks. A risk as attackers could potentially steal sensitive data from compromised systems, which are called as compromised systems. Those who do not update the with regular security patches, or those who don't use antivirus software also, that those systems are called as compromised systems. Next is performance impact. Some mitigation techniques introduced to address the vulnerabilities could lead to the performance degradation. Then comes mitigation strategies. Microcode updates. Processor manufacturers release microcode updates to address these vulnerabilities. You should be aware of these updates. Operating system patches. Operating system vendors like Windows 10 or Mac OS or Linux, they will release frequently some certain patches to mitigate the vulnerabilities at the software level. Compiler optimizations. Compiler optimizations were introduced to help the mitigate the vulnerabilities, especially uh, uh, to avoid the compilation errors. What are the lessons learned from this meltdown and spectrum? One is hardware security, second is supply chain security, and third is proactive vulnerability management. So, what do you mean by hardware security? These vulnerabilities highlighted the importance of considering hardware security when designing and manufacturing processors. Then comes supply chain security. These vulnerabilities also emphasize the need for the supply chain security to ensure that hardware components are not compromised. So everything we cannot design on our own, right? So we will be depending on certain vendors for providing the different components. So if that vendor is uh, in contract with these cyber criminals, then they will introduce certain codes in the hardware components. So we should not use such kind of supply chain managements. We should not entertain third party supply chain vendors. Then next comes proactive vulnerability management. Organizations need to be proactive in identifying and addressing the vulnerabilities, including those that may be difficult to detect or mitigate. Okay. If you are able to detect and mitigate, it's okay. But you should be careful when, because this zero click attack does not require even user interaction also. So you should be very much careful, and you should uh, especially organizations need to be proactive in identifying and addressing the vulnerabilities, including those that may be difficult to detect or mitigate. While the vulnerabilities have been addressed, it is essential for the organizations to remain vigilant and implement appropriate security measures to protect against future threats. We should not sit idle with the latest threats, because as the technology is evolving from AI to AGI also. So the fraudsters will also use the technology to attack the systems, especially mobile phones and also PCs. Okay. So we should evolve with the latest technology to protect our systems. Then this is the next topic, modus operandi of cyber criminals. How cyber criminals use different tactics to achieve their goals. So this topic we will learn in the next video. Until then, I would like to take leave from all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel The link is also visible on the screen. You can watch it here, youtube.com/HANU7. I hope you will subscribe and encourage me. Thank you for watching.